Listen, alcohol is just out in 2024. There is a rising trend of going alcohol-free or being sober curious, and alcohol, the truth is, it's just bad for you and can famously impair your sex life. So if you're looking for another way to unwind, relax, or just have fun, I cannot recommend Via's THC gummies enough. Via has gummies for every occasion. Whether it's to improve your sleep, I love their sleep gummies. I take them everywhere. Your mood or your focus. They even have an aphrodisiac gummy called High Love to boost my arousal levels. High Love has a unique blend of cannabinoids and aphrodisiac exotic herbs that are known for their libido enhancing effects. So I've been using Via for a while now, and I absolutely love them. They're a super trusted company. They use premium hemp, natural ingredients, and they're known for their premium indoor THCA flower. All their products are made here in the US. They got quick and discreet shipping to all 50 states, so you can all enjoy them, not to worry. And also super affordable. So head over to viahemp.com and use code Emily at checkout to save 15% off your order. That's VIIAHEMP.com. Use code Emily at checkout for 15% off your order and let me know what you think. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Sex with Emily. I know you're going to love it. We got Samantha Shocker from Dr. Drew HLN. She's here in the studio. We're talking about some of the hottest topics in today's culture, including sexting, social media, and celebrity scandals. But first, thank you everyone for listening to the show and for supporting my sponsors. And you know I am obsessed with a lot of electronic objects. And there's one that is my new favorite, and it's actually not a vibrator. It is the No Pro. Because let's face it, we've all got hair in places we don't want it. And I'm not just talking about women. I'm talking about men too. And I spend so much time and money on razors and waxing and tweezing and all this stuff. But the No Pro is really the only way to remove unwanted hair, and there's absolutely no pain. I do it at home. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like taking hair off my legs. It's like gone for like such a long time. You don't have to keep shaving. You have weeks and weeks of long-lasting results. Plus, if you get the No Pro, it has 100% 60-day money-back guarantee. So if you're like, you know what? I don't like having all my hair removed. I didn't like this easy-to-use system. I want my money back. You could do that, but you won't because you're going to love it. It also comes with a $50 gift card to an award-winning skincare line. Oh, and also I'm talking to the guys there. You know, you're like, oh, I've got this hair on my chest. I've got this hair on my neck. What do? This is what you do. You buy the No Pro. Go to nonoemily.com. That's nonoemily.com.
Into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com, where you can check out all of our podcasts. Every day we update it. We've got new sex information for you. You can sign up for our mailing list, which is actually really important because I send really killer emails. I have to say, I send great newsletters, and they're not going to be annoying, and I'm not going to spam you, but you'll actually improve your sex life. Plus, you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, which is so easy. I do 2 shows a week, and you will never miss another Sex with Emily show again, because why the hell would you want to, right? Okay, I'm so excited for tonight's show because I've got the beautiful and the talented Samantha Shocker here with me.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, I'm a huge fan of yours, and I know we've met before, but I love tuning into Loveline and hearing everything that you have to say, so I'm just so grateful to be here.
Oh, Sam, and I feel we have the Mutual Admiration Society, because Sam, she's also, so since I met you, you become the co-host of Dr. Drew HLN, so we're both like Dr. Drew's women, bitches,
yes.
kind of in a way,
yes.
right? No, and which is such an awesome, so congratulations on that.
Thank
That's
you.
huge, but you also have your Pop Trigger show. Mm-hmm. And where can people find that? It's all about pop culture.
Yes. Pop Trigger is everything. In fact, you have to come on the show because we don't only tackle pop culture, and we like to call it a smart show about dumb stuff. So we will tackle the pop culture aspect, but we'll also talk a lot about relationship stuff and sex. And we do tend to have a younger fan base, and they always write in their questions about relationships and things that they should or shouldn't be doing in high school or even college. And we do the best to answer those those questions, but we need a sexpert.
It's fun.
Like
I was just
Emily.
watching it today. Yes, I would love to be on it. And I was joking for the show. I'm like, I'm not really great with pop culture since I moved to LA. I mean, San Francisco is fine because like no one watches TV. No one, it's just a funny, different world. But here it's like, and I like TV. It's not even that I'm anti. Everyone's like, what do you like, sitting home reading books? No, I wish I have time. It's just that it never became part of my thing, my world. But I'm interested. Like if I pick up an Us magazine, I'll devour it. I just don't think to. So
you're busy at home masturbating.
Exactly. I'm busy at home. Damn, did I bring you a vibrator? I should have. I am. I've got so many goddamn vibrators. It's crazy.
I love it.
I know. That's what I do in my spare time. But okay, Sam. So also, people can find you at the best place to find you is
I'd say my Twitter, which is, you can go to my website, which is samanthashocker.com, or on Twitter at samshocker, and I'm always posting things in regard to Pop Trigger or Dr. Drew on Call or whatever
and
other
hot
things.
Photos of her because she's really hot, but she's married, people, but still. And and also this will all be on my website as well for more information about that. And what else do I have here? I feel like your whole bio, you've like done so many things. It goes on and on and on. You've been on MTV, CNN, HLN, Fox, all that stuff. So we're also today we're going to be talking about. I mean, God, there's so much. First of all, we have to talk about Joan Rivers. Yes. So sad. I mean, it's devastating.
Loved her. And I found her hilarious. But at the end of the day, whether you found her funny or offensive, you cannot argue with the fact that that woman was such a pioneer for female comics and paved the way and opened doors. She kicked down doors.
She did.
And she was fearless. And I think that she was, not only great for female comedians, but for women in general. And I think it was a huge loss today. And we talked a lot about it tonight on Dr. Drew on Call.
Okay.
And we had Jamie Kennedy call in and Lisa Lampanelli and a number of people, Cheryl Underwood, that have done comedy with her. And we saw Kathy Griffin in the green room because she was on Anderson Cooper. And every single one of them, all female comedians, just minus Jamie Kennedy, all had to say that, they would not be Kathy Griffin or Lisa Lampanelli without Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
And they also talked about her kind heart, that she really was not only just a unapologetic, funny comic, but she was a very generous and just lively human being. Lively, absolutely lively.
And I love like her staying power. Like she got into it and she never, I remember when she was up for the Tonight Show and she had her talk shows and she got fired because she's always come back. Like she's got that stamina. Resilient. And she never let anything bring her down.
No,
and
not at all.
She is an inspiration.
And I guess right before, she ended up going into that procedure, she was doing a stand-up show, an hour-long stand-up show. So she really was at her, not her best. She was 81 years old, but she was in a healthy state of mind and able to do an hour stand-up. And it's so tragic because who knows what happened during that procedure. But
do we even know what the procedure was? Like, of course, everyone, my mind goes to like, was she getting another plastic surgery? But it wasn't.
A little bit, right. And Dr. Drew touched upon it tonight because I don't even know, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, what an endoscopy is. So I guess she had an endoscopic procedure done on her throat. She was having some trouble with her voice box, her vocal cords, and she went in there and as it was an elective procedure, but Dr. Drew said, you know what, she performs, and you can tell that her voice was getting huskier and more tired, and he thinks, I'm sure that this was a real necessary thing for her to do,
right? And
we don't know what happened. But
okay, so we'll find out more about that. But now let's go into the Fappening. Can we talk about the Fappening?
Oh my gosh, we've been following it. Yes.
Okay, so the Fappening, people don't know. First of all, the word, I have to admit, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so fappening is the sound of people masturbate. The sound, fap. Which I can't believe.
How did you not know that?
I don't know.
I'm disappointed in you.
I'm disappointed. I had to ask like Lauren, my assistant name manager, like, you don't know? I'm like, that's okay. I'm like, no, how do I not know that? But there was the hundreds of news photos that were released on Sunday featuring like the hottest like female A-listers, and it makes me like terrified for like my cloud because God knows what's on my goddamn cloud. Even things that I deleted.
That's what's
they
scary.
can retract. It's like I threw it away in the trash and it got burned, and then all of a sudden like there's this photo that I've totally forgot about. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really it's so invasive and violating, and I'm so empathic for all these poor celebrities. And what's really infuriating is you read like the responses on social media, and people were so quick to blame these celebrities, saying, why would you take a nude photo to begin with? Why would you? And that really pisses me off.
Right.
That's victim blaming, and you have every right. All those girls had every right to take a picture of themselves, and whether it's for themselves, whether it's to share it with their husband, they have the expectation that it's safe. They don't know that some hacker is going to go hack in and take it and blast it to the masses.
Who would ever think that? Right. Yeah. Exactly. And how they got into it and all that stuff. I mean, it's just... But I am going to go back to my point that I make that I just don't think that people should be sending nude photos. And I'm worried about I'm worried about like my nieces who are like in high school. My one niece who's in high school, you know, and I think she's 15 now. And I just think that the guys are saying, you know, hey, send me a picture. I think that's how they want to be liked, or their friends are doing it. But I'll have you all know, and I've said this, that the second you send a photo to someone, you send the guy gets it, and whoever's closest by, he's showing the picture.
Yeah,
he really is. I mean, not every guy, but I can't tell you how many guy friends are just like, hey, Emily, look at this, look at this. I mean, it's not. It will show up again. So only take a nude photo and send it to someone if you don't mind it showing up on the internet and in your face, maybe in your first job interview. Who the hell knows?
And as a teen, do not do it because you're not even thinking clearly. And I look at things that I did as a teenager, and I didn't have the internet and a cell phone. Thank God.
Thank God, right.
Right. And I think, you know, this has to fall down onto the education, you know, with the parents or with whether it's a big sister, and really sit down with your kids and say, listen, whatever you're sending on your phone, I get it. I get that it's pervasive nowadays, and all the kids may be doing it, which is another scary thought.
Right,
but
right.
This can haunt you for life.
For life.
And it's
Thank God we
not
didn't
worth
have
it.
that. Like,
Thank
I've
God.
got all my negatives. I've got all my photos. I am going to get them scanned because I have like so many photos from college and stuff. But like, it's nowhere.
No.
Like, you couldn't track it. So I just want to say, people, and it's not that these people did anything wrong either. Like, these were also, I mean, these are two different issues because these are private photos.
And these are adults.
Right.
Except
these
for one was underage.
Right.
The gymnast, which is now, it could be child pornography distribution, which is a whole nother onslaught of charges that this hackers could be facing.
Did they find the hackers?
Not that I know of, but I know the FBI is cracking down, and I know that Apple just released a statement saying that it was not a breach, whether this is a PR scheme or not.
Exactly.
It was not a breach of their iCloud. It was a hacker that targeted these celebrities and found their passwords to gain access. That's what Apple is saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they found their whatever.
Yeah.
But still, everyone, this should just be another reason why you shouldn't do it. Because I do think that it's kind of become the norm. You start dating someone, and people are even doing it with people they meet online. Like, before they even, maybe they have a date set up through Match.com or Twitter or something, and then they're like, send me a photo of yourself. And they're sending it to people they don't even know.
Right.
It becomes the norm. So stop doing it, people. It's not going to help you. Okay, Sam. So you have your very own debate show, Pop Trigger.
My God. Oh, wait, Debate Your Fate is a different show.
Oh, Debate Your Fate? Okay, so what's that, Debate Your Fate? How many shows Dude, you're like Dr. Drew. How many shows do you have?
Debate Your Fates with GSN, and they just launched a digital department, and they had myself and my co-host Sean Klitzner create the show, and they wanted something that was edgy and fun and very like MTV-esque and to bring in a younger demographic. So we came up with a show called Debate Your Fate, where he and I can debate sex topics or relationship topics or pop culture topics, Batman versus Superman, whatever it may be.
Right.
And we have 60 seconds to do the debate, and then we release it to the fans. And the fans then have a few days to vote who won or lost the debate. The loser of the debate has to spin the dreaded ass Wheel of Fate, which, I hate. I'm like producer Sam. I'm like, okay, that's a great Wheel of Fate.
That's so
Host
funny,
Sam
right.
is like, I don't want to spin this Wheel of Fate. And it's like, it could be like a mystery shot. God knows what's in it. Or it could be cut your hair. He cut my hair on the show. Thank God I have layers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He cut like 6 inches off my hair, but I made it into a layer. I made lemons. I made, what is it? Lemons.
Right. Lemonade out of lemon.
I made lemonade out of lemons. It was all good. And then there's other things too, like strip to your underwear. I just stripped to my underwear. I was just
my God. On this show, where can people are going to want to see that? You still do it?
Yeah, you can go to Official Door 3. That's GSN's new digital network, Official Door 3, which is on YouTube, and you can see all the videos. And it's actually quite fun. I think the show is just, it's so deviant.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it's
so
really fun.
So do you think, what about in relationships? Like, are you like a debater, like with your husband? Do you feel like it's healthy to have conflict and stuff in your relationships?
I think at the end of the day, if you can evolve from the conflict, I know my husband and I were both Leo. We have the same birthday. So we're both.
You do?
Yes. We're both Leos. We're both passionate. We both argue differently. I tend to get over things very quickly, and I just want it done and resolved. He tends to hang on to it a little bit more, and we don't fight often, but when we do fight, it gets heated, but then afterwards, whether it's like 6 hours later, an hour later, or the next day, we will come together, and we always try to evolve from the fights, and I always feel like that it improves our relationship every time.
See, it's true. And I used to say, because I'm not like really a fighter when I've been in relationships, and I realized that like I was holding back, and the couples who can like fight and go at it and then make up and grow from it, like if you're never arguing with your partner, like that's a problem too.
It sounds like there's like a lack of communication.
Exactly.
Then there.
So you need to learn to communicate.
Or a lack of passion. Maybe you just don't care, period.
I didn't care.
Because me too. I've been in a relationship where we didn't fight at all, and I just didn't care.
Exactly. I didn't care enough to even be like,
me too.
Yeah.
I was like, it's better just to like let it go.
Because I don't care. So,
Right.
yeah, all my exes listening, I didn't really care about you. I'm sorry. Okay, I was reading some stuff, too, that you talked about. I thought it was so interesting about how we've all become social media zombies.
Yeah.
And that, like, how do you think that social media is affecting intimacy and relationships right now?
That's such a weighted question. That's a great question. Social media.
What does that even mean, zombies? Like, we're just sitting around staring at our phones, becoming, like, cross-eyed?
And
so true.
I think it's a double-edged sword. I think that there's a lot of benefits with social media. It's a great way to connect us. It's a great way for self-promotion. It's a great way to have specific campaigns, like the No Hate campaign.
Right.
I mean, marriage equality would not be where it is today without the No Hate campaign. So there's a lot of benefits to social media, as well as, like, instantaneous, real, unfiltered news.
Right.
But you do see a lot of us, myself included, kind of disconnected through, by always looking at our phones. And it can weigh on you, too, if you read a negative comment. Sometimes you can laugh off that negative comment whether you're in the industry, whether you're just, Joe Blow in high school. And you tend to let those things that are just constantly filtering into your phone affect your day-to-day.
Exactly.
Right?
And you just become upset. Like, I'm also like addicted. Like, I sleep with my phone charging like next to my pillow, and I feel like I had a little detox from it this weekend because I went away, and actually went away with Drew and his wife. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, in Laguna, right?
Yeah.
And he said that you're like in love with Laguna now.
Yeah, I loved it. It was so fun.
too.
It was so random because I was texting with Susan, and she was like, it was Labor Day, and she's like, oh, I said, I'm trying to be at her. She's a podcast too, great. We've both been on, called Calling Out. Her podcast, Calling Out, with
Such a
Susan
fun,
Pinsky.
great
Oh my
podcast.
God.
Amazing.
Yeah, it read that I was supposed to hook up with that my future was I'm going to have sex with a married doctor. And she's like, is it going to be my husband? I'm like, no, I'm not having sex with your husband. No, not Mark, my ex. No, but anyway, it was funny. But so I was there, and I realized I actually stepped away. I wasn't on my phone all weekend long. It was like 4 days.
And how did you feel?
I felt so good. I felt so free. I felt like I haven't done that in so long because I work all the time. I had a vacation all summer, and it was just really nice. We needed detox from it, but there's no boundaries.
Right. I think
it comes with us everywhere.
Yes, it's important to do the detoxing and to just kind of shut it all down and just be alive in the moment again.
Right.
Because I feel like we're just letting life pass us by because we're so quick to like put something up on Instagram and we're forgetting
like we just did before the show. But yeah, but that's because we want you all to call in.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think, yeah, absolutely. But it's also, I think kids say too, it's like my nieces, I go home, I'm going to Michigan tomorrow to see my family. And, they're 14, 11, 6, the 6-year-old's into the iPad. But they're all, I'm there, but they're attached. That's what we're talking about. And it's I feel like, hey, I'm here for a few days. Can we talk? But they're just, they're almost worse than I am. And then I try to put away. Anyway,
that worries me when it comes to that generation because I know that we're kind of like the last generation that didn't have to deal with that. And it scares me because we are seeing a lack of human interaction when it comes to them. And I wonder how that does affect them emotionally, their psychology.
Right.
And in even just the way that they can disconnect when they film something, whether they're witnessing a fight at school, whether they're on vacation. It's just they put that camera in front of them and it almost like puts up a wall.
Right. And they're not even seeing the moment because their first thought is this would be great Instagram rather than look at this beautiful sunset.
Yeah. Look how old we sound. They're
probably
like
so old. I was being interviewed. Well, actually, it was funny. I got interviewed by Women's Health magazine this morning for a really long time. It just was annoying. It was a very long interview. It was a good interview, but it was about women. It was about, should women make the first move in relationships? Do you think it's okay for a woman to ask a guy out? Do you think it's okay for a woman to make the first move sexually? It was actually interesting because I said, well, my generation, I said, oh my God, I can't even believe I'm saying something like this, first of all. But it is true in that we were talking about messaging. Well, I'll get back to the point was about should you send the first message, but I think that I'll get back to the point of what she was interviewing me about. But I think today also that when people want to. Everyone talks about being single. I can't meet anyone. It's because they're on their phones and they're not as open. We used to just walk around like we didn't have headphones. Maybe we had headphones in sometimes, but you were open. You were looking. But now we're texting and walking into trees and stuff, right? So we're not like connecting, and it's keeping us separate. So if you're gonna write into me and tell me you can't meet anyone and you can't find anyone, it's probably because you're on a goddamn phone and put it away and start talking to someone.
My husband and I actually hit each other, physically ran into each other. That's how we met.
Are you seriously?
Yes. And can you imagine if we were on our phones. I mean, I probably would have been like, excuse me, dude, and kept
Yeah,
walking.
I'm writing my text.
Yes.
Where did you run it? Tell me the story.
You don't even want to know where we met.
I do need to know.
The douchiest place, and it's sorry to this establishment.
Where?
Close to it, Saddle Ranch. So, yes.
Saddle Ranch, wait, in
On
Vegas?
Sunset.
Oh.
Saddle Ranch on Sunset,
Oh,
which is
yeah,
like the
okay.
Western bar.
Yes.
And it does attract like a very specific breed. And I was actually working there for a brief time in college.
You were?
Yes.
I bet you got amazing tips.
Not so much. Okay. No, I really did not. I think the most I made was like $80, but I always got the crappy sections.
Okay.
And I was only there for like 6 weeks. But long story short, I think I was done with my shift, so I could have easily been on my phone. He could have been on his phone. He was a patron,
right?
And we ran into each other right near the pool table, and it was instantaneous. Like I felt something immediately,
Did you?
So did he. And but of course, I said he asked me something like, "What does your tattoo say?" And I said I had a boyfriend because I was just so used to having my guard up.
Right.
But as soon as I passed him, I immediately knew that I stuck my foot in my mouth, and I came back.
Did you have a boyfriend?
No. I just working at that place.
Right, you get hit on. It's like you got to just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because you're trying to get the drink to the next person. You're like,
Right.
I don't have time for the flirting.
But what if I never looked up? There's been times when I've been texting and I've been guilty of not even looking up.
Right.
I'm so engrossed in, my own vanity, which
Right.
sucks.
I
We should
know.
learn from that.
You
All of
should
us.
learn from that.
Yeah.
I love that you met him. So, right, okay, so talk to me about this chemistry you felt right away.
It was, and it was something that I felt like I was really missing in my life because, like we talked about earlier, my ex, I just didn't have that. I thought he was a great guy. In fact, we were great friends, but there was chemistry missing. And it was really hard for me to, and Anderson brought this up, just being complacent. It was hard for me to move on because he was such a nice guy. But you know what? I don't want to marry my best friend. I do want to marry my best friend, but I also want to have great sex.
You want to bang your best friend. You want to have to still have that chemistry. And the chemistry, here's the thing. If you don't have it at the beginning.
Oh, I can't imagine. You never have it because we were together 6 years. We never had it.
Really?
Yes. And I just, I was so young.
I know you didn't know, but you don't know.
I didn't know. And so, after that, I was single for a little bit and I was just waiting and waiting. But I wasn't in a rush. I actually wasn't even looking for a relationship. And when I met my future husband, that chemistry, you can't describe it. It was like a gravitational pull. Like when I walked away, I felt devastated that I just said that I had a boyfriend.
So did you whip back around?
I whipped back around and I just started talking to him. And he was like, why is this girl talking to me? She has a boyfriend. And then I ended up telling him, listen, I work here. And that was just something that I had to say. If you don't believe me, you can ask any of my coworkers. I'm not shady, whatever. And then we went he asked me out on our first date like the very next day. And we were inseparable for like 30-something days until I had to go away. And it was just...
I love this. How long have you guys been together?
We've been together, this August 22nd was 9 years. But we've been married coming in October 4 years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. See, so that can happen, the chemistry thing. We've got a lot of calls coming in, and I'm going to take a call. We'll see if it works. Sometimes This is Rob in Los Angeles. Hey, Rob, you're on Sex with Emily.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Rob, you are here. You're on Sex with Emily with Sam Shocker and myself, and we would love to help you. What is going on, Rob?
Well, first of all, I called a couple of months ago. I had the cock ring challenge from one of my friends. And
the cock ring challenge. Did I give it to you?
Yeah.
I did?
Well, anyway, I usually I'm having problems picking up on women, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I listen to you guys all the time. I think you said on Loveline a couple of times, just compliment them, have confidence. I have confidence, but that doesn't work. And now I guess the times has changed where the assholes, can I say assholes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're on a podcast. Go ahead. You can say whatever you want.
Well, the assholes usually get the digits and get the hookers and the hood rats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's true. Okay, so wait, Rob, so you're saying your confidence not working. So give me an example what you do. So if you find a woman, you see a woman when you're out, what do you do?
Well, for example, a couple of months ago, I was at Robex. And
Aerobics?
I ordered,
is
Robex.
it like step aerobics?
Oh, Robex, the juice place. Is that right? Robex, the juice place?
Yes.
Okay, she thought you said aerobics.
Like in the 80s. I'm like, who?
Jazzercise.
I'm like, what was Richard Simmons there? Jane Fonda. Okay, go ahead. You were at Robex.
Well, okay. I already ordered. Female walked in. Her fragrance, the perfume she was wearing, really caught my nose. So
okay.
I was like, oh, okay. Well, smells good. So turned around. She was ugly. She had these big glasses, looked like like fly eyes.
Okay.
So I was just gonna test it out, see what happened.
All right.
And so I told her, like you said, tell her how beautiful she is. Or has anyone told her how beautiful she is today? So I told her that, got a response, everything was fine.
I don't think I told you to say that, but okay.
Everything was fine, got her number, had a little conversation, and we were texting, we were talking, didn't actually get to go out because I'm kind of turned off by how most of these girls have a lot of guy friends.
Okay. Wait, we got a lot going on here, Rob. Okay, here's the thing. First of all, I didn't say walk up to a woman and tell her how beautiful she is. I said when you're in a relationship, women like to feel, right, Sam? Like, don't you I don't care.
Yes. And sometimes that can go away for some reason.
Yeah.
Like over time, they think that you don't need to have those compliments, but you do. You need to feel appreciated and doted on and beautiful.
When you're in a relationship, I always tell guys, I'm like 10 times a day. Tell her she's at 10 times a day. I'm like, okay, fine. So do it 3. That's better than none. But when you meet a woman, Rob, and I always say observe something. So, if you guys were in aerobics, what is it, juice bar or a thing?
It's like a juice
place.
Like,
hey, so wait, have you ever had the kale and whatever? Is it good? You observe something going on in the moment, and then you talk to her about that, so you have a common thing to talk about. I wouldn't go up to a woman and tell her have anyone told you that you don't know, because then she automatically knows that you're hitting on her and you want to bang her. So I would not have told you that, first of all.
Oh.
I'm glad we cleared this up. It's when you're in a relationship. But no, if a guy comes up and says, hey, beautiful, I'm keep walking.
Me too.
Yeah. So pickup lines is hello is, because this is what it says here. You need a pickup line besides hello is what it says on the screen here. But it's more like just practice. Like you just got to just practice talking to women like that you're attracted to and not attracted to. It's like how you would talk to your friends. You have to gain that confidence by just, and it comes with practice. You might be rejected, 20, 30, 100 times, but eventually you will just feel comfortable talking to people, talking to women. So that's what I think you got to work on, Rob, the conversation.
Okay, but with that said, I only get the back and forth conversation, like with the friends, like you just said, with people I work with.
Okay, but that's why you got to practice outside of work. And I'm having a hard time talking to you right now. I think you got to just... No, I mean, Rob, you're cool. I'm kidding. No, you're fine. But I think you got to practice. I know, because here's the thing, Rob. No, that's a good thing. The people you work with, you feel super comfortable with, right? They know you. They love you. Hey, Rob, let's get lunch. You have to channel that confident Rob that's totally chill, like how you feel when you're with your family, if you're close with your family or your relatives, your best friends or work. That's the Rob that you need to bring into aerobics. That's the Rob that you need to bring into the street, wherever you are, Starbucks or at the bar. That's the Rob that you don't think this is a hot chick. Oh, my God. Don't even think about it. Just be like, what would you say if your best friend was standing there? You'd say, God, this music's so loud. How can you even talk to anyone? Or, is this line always, whatever it is. If the pumpkin lattes are back at Starbucks, whatever the hell it is, you observe something in the moment, and that's how you start the conversation.
Yeah.
And it's not a yes, no question. It's something that will generate. And you'll start to get that confidence. And then you'll just be Rob wherever you go. You'll be the Rob that you feel most confident wherever you go if you start practicing. Okay, Rob?
Got it.
Keep doing it. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, I'm glad you cleared that up. I hate to think I gave someone the wrong advice because don't you think you're married? You know you're beautiful, your husband, but you want to hear it.
Oh, you need to hear it. And listen, it goes a long way.
It does.
It really does. It makes you melt. When your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever it may be,
right?
They say to you, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful today. Or that dress, wow, it makes you want to get in the mood.
Exactly.
As silly as that sounds.
It's an aphrodisiac.
Yes.
It's so true. And people are like, oh, and then there's some guys who say, but then she's going to know, and this isn't like obviously if you're husband, but if you're dating or whatever, they're like, oh, but then she's going to know, she already knows she's hot, or she's going to know she has me in the palm of her hand. It's like,
so what?
You guys are freaking idiots.
Lose that.
Because she's going to start looking for it elsewhere.
Thank you.
And not that she's insecure, and it's not that whatever, but we just like to hear it. We make efforts. You guys don't have to spend like half your life like getting like your nails and your eyebrows and your hair done, whatever, like that. We try. We make efforts, and we want you, and it just feels good, just like you guys like to be complimented.
It's kind of like the extension of courtship. That should never go away.
It should never go away.
It helps keep the flame burning.
Exactly. And the foreplay starts after the last orgasm. I'll tell you that. And we're going to get back into some more sex tips and sex talk. But first, a word from my sponsors. And again, I love you all for listening to the show. And thank you so much for tuning in and supporting my sponsors who help keep this show free. So as Sam mentioned earlier, I'm not always sitting around reading, watching TV, but I am using a lot of sex toys. So one of the reasons is because of the lovely people at Good Vibes. That's goodvibes.com. They are the most amazing store. They actually have brick and mortar stores in San Francisco and a few other places in the country, but they also, but their website's amazing because they only carry the latest and greatest best toys that are body safe, the best brands. You can get the Vibratex Dahlia, which is one of my new favorites. Hey, Sam, do you feel comfortable? Do you ever use sex toys?
Yes.
What's your favorite? Do you have one that you like?
Let's see, a one that I like. Oh
like
my gosh,
like a bullet, or do you like?
I've liked the bullet because they're just easy and accessible. You can just throw it in your back.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I think that it's, it just, especially
it
spices it up, and sometimes it can just add some fun. Some fun
to the relationship. Yes. Exactly. You can even get at Good Vibes. So again, I love the Vibratex. I love the new Dahlia. I'm obsessed with the new WeVibe has this new bullet called the Tanga, I believe. It's like Tanga or TNG. Just go to sexwithemily.com, click on the Good Vibes banner. You can also get the strongest, most orgasmic vibrator of all time, the Magic Wand. Ooh. So, yeah, go to my site, sexwithemily.com, click on the Good Vibes banner, and use coupon code GVEmily20 for 20% off. And also, I'm not forgetting about you dudes out there because Fleshlight is the #1 sex toy for men. Yes, there are hundreds of thousands of vibrators for women, but why shouldn't guys have toys themselves? Because you guys got your hands. I feel bad for it. That's all they do is they got their hands. They're like, well, I don't need anything else. That's because you don't know anything else besides your hand and sex. But the Fleshlight it's a male masturbation sleeve. It actually stimulates the feeling of having sex, and it feels really good. It looks like a flashlight, but it's in a little container, and you just use it, every time and mix up. Your partner can use it and give you a hand job. It's fun for both of you. Or, on your own, if you want to last longer in bed, there's the Fleshlight Stamina Training Unit. Helps you practice lasting longer and becoming a better lover, and you'll experience some of the most mind-blowing orgasms of your life. I gave it to a friend who's been married for a long time, and he said, I would leave my wife if it could cook. Which is kind of an insult to his wife, but he was joking, but really he said it was that amazing. So anyway, check it out. Go to sexwithemily.com/fleshlight. That's sexwithemily.com/fleshlight. Check it out. Have you ever seen this Fleshlight? It's cool. You've seen it? Okay, so that's all we got to say. Okay, Sam, so back to you and me and us and talking. So sex, I was saying that it was interesting. So Women's Health Today, to circle back to that, They were interviewing me. I'm going to circle back to things. It was interesting because it was about women making the first moves and approaching a guy and asking a guy out, and is it acceptable? And have you ever done that? Have you ever asked a guy out or made a move on a guy?
I have made a move on a guy before. I have.
A sexual, first kiss, or just asking about?
I believe, if I remember correctly, did I either kiss him or I asked him to kiss me? But I made the first move. He just was not getting my signals whatsoever. And I tried to give those signals, and then finally I was like, F it, will you kiss me? Right. Or I went in for the kiss. I think I was 18, so it's hard to recall. But I remember clearly going in for it. Right. And he was just blown away and loved it.
Right.
Loved it.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking, because I think that a lot of, and in my mind I was thinking, men, they want to be it's like the whole caveman thing. They want to be the hunters, the gatherers. They want to know that they approached her and conquer on the head, dragged back to the cave. But that's so old school. I mean, women, we are equals in every other part of society now. Why not ask a guy out? And you brought up a really good point that a lot of men just can't read the signals.
This guy had no idea, even after the fact.
He was shocked. He's like, Sam Shocker, you wanted to kiss me? Holy my God, he fucking lost his mind.
We talked about it afterwards. He was like, I had no idea. I was like, but when I did this, when I laughed and touched your leg, when I blah, 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 he was like, no. I was like, when we drove up to the top of the hill and looked over the Hollywood sign, no. So yeah, sometimes they just don't get it.
They don't read the signs.
And it was very empowering for me. I remember feeling like a little tigress when I did it. And I remember going home and be like, yeah, girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Good for you. So that's what's bad. Because I had to think about it. I was like, well, I never really do that. And I haven't in my life. I've never...
Girl, you got to.
I know. So that's my new mission. I'm just going to start hitting on people wherever I go now, because I always wait. And I also I've been working a lot. What?
You've walked in on me in the bathroom 4 or 5 times.
Anderson, I did.
Is that true?
Right.
That's true.
It's
you know what's
true.
funny, Sam? She does.
Yeah.
She walks in, and because she's Emily, she can't help but do a double take and kind of peek.
I do.
She peeked.
Oh,
I
I
did
believe
not
it.
peek.
I believe a little
Anderson,
peeky peek
It was a
happened.
little bit
I'm
of a, it was like
mortified.
you couldn't even tell. You couldn't help it is what I'm saying. It was so natural for you. It's
She
not like you
gave-
thought about it, so you're innocent.
She gave you a little side eye.
Little side eye.
I was
Okay.
like, oh, Anderson, is that you?
Yeah, and then she puts like over her shoulder. She's like, sorry, and then the eyes are like peeking down.
Okay. Yeah, you'll
That
have to
was a
share the
move.
details
You're right,
with me
exactly.
later.
Oh, totally. We won't talk about it. Now about size, it's rude to talk about in front of the guy. But no, yeah, it's true. And that's my new goal.
Good.
I'm going to start like going out there because I feel like, and it's so true. Like the guy said earlier who called, he said, and I didn't realize this either till I started doing the show and started just learning about dating and relationships and habits of men, all that, and women, is that all the guys that mostly that we've dated in our life are the ones that have the confidence, and maybe they're even the douchebags, or like I can talk to the women, but there's all these really super nice guys in the corner suffering
I
because
know.
all they want to do is have the confidence to talk to women, and they can't.
And what if you miss that opportunity of that person being like the one or somebody
Right.
that you could even date potentially for a while and have a great time with? Don't miss out just
Right.
because, you don't feel confident enough or comfortable enough to go and make the first move.
Exactly. It's just because it's a skill. And so these guys, for whatever reason, have the skill. And then there's all these really nice guys in the corner. So women just go, ladies, girls, chicks, go out and talk to the guy who's not talking to you. It doesn't mean he's not into you. It means that he's just shy and nervous. And so, yeah, makes me
Yes.
sad. So what do you feel about like the whole rise of like dating apps now? Like if you were single, do you think you'd be on Tinder? Like do you have
my
single
gosh,
friends? What do you think
I
about it?
And sometimes I live through some of them because it's so interesting and fascinating. I never was a part of any of that.
Right.
I think I was on MySpace when I was single, and that was like the gist of it all. But yeah, I think that if I was single today, I would use those apps because for me, I may not be out and about and I'm working a lot, and I like the idea of it fine-tuning the person that you're looking for. But at the same time, there is something very serendipitous and magical about just meeting somebody naturally, like at a bookstore or at a bar or at the grocery store. That to me, because you can actually feel that chemistry.
Exactly like you felt with your husband.
Yes. So
I
I
love
would-
that story. I want that to happen.
Oh,
that just inspired me.
Good. Really, we'll put it out there in the
I'm
universe.
putting it out there because it's been
Yes.
so long since I just met someone and was like, oh, my heart, like, and I even I've tried recently to talk myself into people.
Right.
And that doesn't really work.
And what do you think about the dating apps? Are you using them?
Well, it's funny. I did do Tinder.
Yes.
But I used it and then I ended up having a blind Tinder date on my show.
What do you mean?
They
never
came
met on your show?
Yeah, in here. Like Anderson met him before I did. Yeah.
How did it go?
It was actually, he was a really nice guy. And it was funny because I wasn't, my friend, I was in New York and it was Valentine's Day. And my friend Amy was like, you got to do Tinder.
That sounds
That's
like
what
a
it was.
great show. I need to see. I need to
You
hear.
gotta listen to
I
it.
can't wait.
It was hilarious. So she's like, do Tinder. So I was in New York and I started doing it. And then I came back to LA. It's kind of fun. It's a game. You like
right. You
swiping
swipe
left.
it. I've done it with my
He's like-
friends.
Right.
Yes.
Right. All my friends steal my phone and do it too because they're like, show me Tinder. So this guy was actually really interesting. And then I said to him, oh, but he did kind of recognize. He said to me, I recognize your picture because I was on this TV show that he had worked on. He's like, I recognized your picture from this. I was on the show Misadvised on Bravo, and he said, I recognize you. So he wasn't like a total stranger. So I knew there was some kind of like, he did PR for the agency for like 2 weeks. So he knew. So I knew he wasn't a total freak. And then he kept saying, can you do this night and that? I said, I'm doing a show. He's like, what, do I come on your show? And I said,
ding, 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 ding,
you
ding.
do
Yes.
have to come on my show. So it's a really funny episode. You guys can go back and look at it. So it was really funny. He came in. And so that was the only time I did it. But otherwise, I'd rather just meet someone in person. But I've been set up a lot lately too.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Which is great too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's good. So, okay. So what about you? Like you're doing like a million different shows. You're doing Pop Trigger. You're doing Dr. Drew HLN. And you're married. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're doing what, 5 days a week?
We are Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
And then I do Pop Trigger Mondays and Thursdays. And then Debate Your Fate is normally Fridays. And then my husband and I have a company together too.
Oh, you
So
do?
it's-
Yeah. Oh my God. So right, your candle company, which we
Oh
need to
my
talk
gosh.
about.
It's-
How do you guys keep it together, and how do you keep your relationship interesting and your sex life? Like, do you have any tips for keeping it healthy and strong?
It's they call it work for a reason, and I don't say that in a bad way. I think it's fun to always think about how do we stay fresh, and if there's ups and downs, trust me, there's been downs where I'm like, oh my gosh, did I make a mistake? And I know that sounds sad, but then boom. 3 weeks later, I'm more in love than I've ever been, and then that's the long haul. And it's interesting being also business partners, and we do have to actively work on taking off that business cap because we don't want to, at the end of the day, sit and only talk business. So we do try to consciously shut down the business talk. We'll talk about it a little bit because we have to at the end of the day,
right?
And then we go right into husband and wife. And like I said, some days are harder than others. Sometimes we'll find ourselves fighting over creative differences.
So tell me about your it's Wicked Candles. Wicked Candles. Okay, tell me.
And you can go to thewickedcandles.com. And I never would have thought that we would have had a candle company. I know. My husband was a graphic designer, really successful graphic designer, working for like action sports companies and Chelsea Handler and doing all kinds of different campaigns. And then when we got engaged, we both envisioned a very drippy, ethereal, sexy candle. You would love them. I got to give you.
I brought you one of mine too for tonight.
Good.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So we envisioned.
I saw them. Yeah, they're like sexy. Okay, tell me about it.
So we were like, okay, we want these drippy candles all over our venue. We got married in Northern California on Halloween.
You did. That's where I'm from.
Oh, yeah. We got to talk about that. Okay. And of course the venue's like, you can't have a drip candle. I was like, okay, I get that.
These are my candles.
Yeah. And we hadn't made them yet. So I was like, okay, we need a pre-dripped candle, but still all wax, not fake, a real candle that burns down the center but still has wax dripping on it but doesn't create a mess, which is insane.
But it's so smart.
And we made it. So my husband's like, I'm a complete klutz. Like, are you kidding me? You don't want me dealing with wax. I'll spill it all over the kitchen, which I did a gazillion times. And so he's like, okay, we have a year engagement. Let's make the perfect candle, and then we'll make 100 of them for our wedding. And we did just that. And they were eventually, after months and months and months, they were perfect. And we got so much positive feedback from our friends at the wedding. We were like, let's just send these out. So we sent them out to the stores that we thought would love them, like Kitson and Urban Outfitters, and they bought them.
Oh my God.
And we didn't even have like our LLC papers. We're like, oh my gosh. It was like 3 years ago.
Were you making them at home?
Yeah, we made them at home until about a year ago, and it was stressful because it started to happen fast. Like,
and you worked together. Okay, so I didn't even realize you
it
guys were in this together.
Fast. And this past year, we finally have like a little small facility in Burbank, and he's full time now.
Oh, he's full time.
He quit graphic design. And, well, he does all the graphic design for Wicked, and he does a great job.
So it's Wicked Candles. Because I saw they're so cool. They're like Halloween-y, but they're like drippy and they're sexy and they're all different colors.
Yeah, and we have a new collection that's based on authors now that are, they're based on the psyche of authors, and they're negative space. It's hard to describe it. You're just going to have to go to thewickedcandles.com.
You got to see them to,
Yeah, and they're just unique and fun, and it's great. I mean, we'll see what happens.
That's fun, but you guys also work, because that's, my mom, though, she's been with my stepdad for 30 years, and they work together. I mean, they're in a company together, but they're both financial planner, and they were always talking about business. My mom had to set parameters. We need boundaries around this. Like after 7 o'clock, we're not talking about work, or we're not, because that's.
I can see it quickly slip into that. I can. My husband and I both can see how it can go. Boom. We are business partners, and that takes out. It's. Sometimes I'm looking at him, I'm like, wow, that's almost like an aphrodisiac.
Right.
And then sometimes I'm like, okay, this is, I'm seeing you too much as a business partner.
Right.
And vice versa. And so that's when the boundaries come in.
So you guys have the communication about it. And okay, so what about sex? You got to tell me. Has it gone up and down?
It's gone up and down. And I'll be honest, it has, going into 10 years now, it has gone up and down. And just recently, I think I was just talking about this with my girlfriend. We had probably the best sex of our life. And it reminded me that just because you have a dry spell or it in the beginning, it's you just can't keep your hands off of each other. You cannot. And there's going to be times where you feel like, oh my God, are we ever going to get that back? Was that only in the beginning? And is that just the way it is?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you'll have like this amazing night, and then it just boom, you're like, okay.
So how does that amazing night happen though?
I don't even know. I tried to think about it the next day, and that's what my girlfriend and I were talking about. I think you just have to be in it. You have to be in it. You have to let go of all the stresses of the day. You have to, maybe even spice it up a little bit. Do something exciting. It could be somewhere new. Maybe you're at a hotel, whatever.
Don't
you
think it's important to go away and
get
out of the house? Do you guys go away a lot?
Yes.
I think that is a secret. Even if it's just I don't care if you go to the Holiday Inn, whatever you can afford.
Hotel sex is the best.
Hotel sex is the best.
True.
You can come all over and wet the sheets. You can do anything you want. And hotel sex is the best because you don't have to worry about it, and it's a different environment. You're not looking at the laundry in the corner, and you're not your computer. It's just changing it up.
It does. And for those of you out there who are in marriages or relationships and you're going through a tough time or a dry spell, please don't get discouraged. Please know that just get yourself in the mood. And sometimes, and I hate using this analogy, it reminds me of surfing or whatever, where sometimes you don't feel like putting on the lingerie or even just getting naked, and I'm thinking of putting on a wetsuit to go surfing, and then you have to dive into the water. But then when you catch that wave and when you're climaxing, it is all worth it. And sometimes you just got to put yourself in the mood, which can be a little bit of work, but once you're there, it is so worth it.
I always say to people, you got to, it's almost I hate to say fake it till you make it, because you should never fake your orgasm. But even if you don't feel like having sex, you just start doing it.
Start kissing, yes. And sometimes you're not into it, but boom, 2 minutes later, I promise Yeah.
It's like going to the gym too. Like you're like, I don't want to work out. You get your shoes on. The hardest part is getting there. And then you're there and you're like, I'll go for 5 minutes. And then you're like, oh my God. Do you ever regret going to the gym? Do you ever regret having great sex?
Never.
No. Does anyone here regret having great sex? Okay.
Exactly.
No one. So that's a good thing. So has he ever, anything like spicy that you've done lately that you would feel that's been a little different? That was like,
oh my gosh, I can't.
Come on, it's Sex with Emily. I'm not going to be like.
I'm trying to think without saying too much.
Yeah.
I don't want CNN and HLN to kill me.
Okay, you don't have to.
No. I'm trying to think if there's anything.
You have a great job. Mine's all sex, so I can say whatever. I don't want you to go down the hill.
Yeah, but
you're on the upward.
I say when you're in a relationship, a trusting, consensual relationship, and you're both comfortable. Go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talk about it. Talk about each other's fantasies and have fun.
Fantasies, dressing up, mixing it up, little costumes.
Wigs go a long way.
They do. It's almost like you're with someone else. Yes. Right.
Yes.
Just don't call them by a different name. Or you can call them by a different name, but don't call them by like...
If that works for you guys and you feel comfortable doing that, I think to each its own. Open communication can just... It can
communication
introduce you
is a
to,
lubrication, I always say.
Yes.
I know, right? It's a good one.
It's good. Tag that.
Thank you.
Tagline it. Hashtag it.
Hashtag communications lubricate. No, I have. I've been saying it for years. I should buy the URL or something.
You should.
But I'm hoping you could help me answer some emails from my listeners.
Yes.
Okay. So thanks everyone for emailing me. Feedback at sexwithemily.com. I love hearing from you. I read all your emails. And so here's one. Okay, dear Emily, I recently began a friends with benefits situation with a guy I met online. It is what I wanted, sex without the commitment. Fast forward 2 months, and here I sit with feelings for a guy that more than likely doesn't have any back for me. I'm so confused as to what to do. I don't want to tell him my feelings for fear it'll run him off, but I also don't want to stick around and develop more feelings for him. Any advice? He does like to cuddle with me all night and fixes me breakfast in the morning and kisses my forehead as we go to sleep. That confuses the F out of me. Help. Thanks, Kelsey. See, this is the friends with benefits thing, which is it's like this whole hookup culture now. And the thing with friends with benefits situations is that they work until they don't work.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, they work great.
Someone's going to develop feelings. The more times that you're intimate, trust me, and oftentimes it's the girl, but the more times you two are intimate, the more times there's going to be some sort of feelings that are developing, and it may be working for a period of time, but it's not going to at some point.
It's going to change.
It's not.
You're going to get a boyfriend. He's going to get it. Always, but it's, as long as you communicate. But it sounds to me,
I feel like there's no communication here.
Yeah.
Has she even talked to him about?
I don't think she's told him. Now, I think that you should revisit it because Kelsey, here's the thing. You've nothing to lose. You're going to keep getting more and more hurt every time you're with them because you want more. So the truth is you're not that happy with it anymore right now. So you just got to say, listen, I know we had this situation going on, but I feel like I might want to see you a little bit more. How do you feel about that?
Perfect.
And you don't have to sound desperate. You don't have to be like, I need this, but just like, hey, let's revisit this like you would in any relationship. And let him know also like maybe that his actions could be confusing you a little bit because he, I think, didn't she say that he was kind of confused, or she's confused, but like, he makes her breakfast, so that can be confusing.
Yeah, kisses her on the forehead. It seems very loving and intimate.
Right. And say, when I got into this, I was really wanting something casual, but I've really developed feelings for you. I think you're awesome. I love spending time with you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, where do you stand?
Where are you at?
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
And just get it out of the way because I feel like if you don't ask those questions, you're not going to know, and then you're wasting time.
Yeah. And then you're going to go down a road, and you're just going to get more and more frustrated, and it could end ugly. Whereas this way, it could just end like friends. You could part with like, okay, we don't feel the same, and then move on.
And you deserve that happiness. So you deserve to ask those questions.
Right.
Yeah.
But friends with benefits is a whole, I used to get, I feel like it changes like the themes. I used to get like 20 friends with benefits questions a week because that's kind of what people I feel like are doing more today. Maybe it's with all the online dating or there's more options. They don't have to commit, but it's become like a whole...
And I think it's less stigmatized, so people are doing it more. They're talking about it more. But I tell you what, my friends that are involved with friends with benefits relationships, every single time, literally every single time somebody ends up hurt.
They're going to get hurt. Yes. Or they think, some people might even lie. They go, no, I'm totally cool with that. And they're not.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's another one about self-esteem issues. Hey, Emily, I've been dating my boyfriend for a bit over a year. We're both in our early 30s. My boyfriend won't let me watch him masturbate when I've asked, but he tells me he has a different way of doing so. He's very visual. Lately, he's been very into getting into fitness on a competitive level and has asked that I also train to look like a bikini fitness model. It bothers me that physically he won't be as attracted to me if I don't. He has an idea of what I should look like, and I've actually suffered from self-image issues for years, and he's aware of that. I'm not sure if my self-image issues and his need to be visually stimulated will cause more issues. Thanks again, Amanda.
Yikes.
I'm always worried when guys are trying to change a woman's body and telling her, like, self-esteem. She's already got the issues. First of all, who doesn't have issues? Women and men. But the fact that, only if, she wants this, Amanda, should you make those changes? You should only want to make yourself, like, if it's going to make you happy,
right,
to start working out, you should do it. But if he's forcing this on you, this is just danger.
I agree. And I think that she's I don't know her history, but it almost sounds like that she was attracted to this guy for a reason, and perhaps because she had those body issues, and maybe he's, controlling and has body issues too, that it just kind of was a disaster waiting to happen. And at the end of the day, you want to be with somebody that loves you and thinks that every inch of you is sexy for who you are.
Exactly.
And otherwise, I don't like it. I just don't.
I don't like it either, because I don't think this is going to change. He's getting into fitness. I mean, if he puts like negative expectations on you, and it's already going to hurt your self-esteem, but so many women are just pleasers, and she probably already is like, well, I could become a fit.
No, you deserve better. I'm sorry. You do.
You don't want a guy who's going to tell you to change.
No.
And I hate saying this sometimes. It's like, I'm not there, but I don't, this is not looking good. And I would try to leave this. I would tell him this, that you're not going to change, but I think this relationship's going to end.
I agree.
I don't feel good about it.
No.
Women, like the
Breaks
second a
my
guy,
heart.
and we get calls all the time on Love Line too, where like the boyfriend's calling, I want my girlfriend to lose weight, and how do I talk about it? It's like, oh God, you can't. Like,
I agree. And there's I'm going to choose my words carefully, because there could be certain situations where perhaps that person, that they're unhappy and depressed because of their weight.
Right.
Maybe they just had a baby. Maybe there's some health issues there, and you notice that they're unhappy, and maybe it is hurting your sex life because they're not confident. There's ways to try to go and do something fun together. Maybe you guys can start hiking together.
Right.
And then there are very limited circumstances where you can get involved and help it for the better good of the relationship. But those are rare occurrences.
You're getting a little pounce there. Oh my gosh.
Please don't, because we already say it in our head.
Yeah, we already know, and we don't want to hear it. It's like a friggin' killer. So don't.
Sex killer, big time.
Big killer. Okay. So, Anderson, what? Were you saying something? Okay. We have time. I think we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, it's go time. Let's go.
We had so much fun. I love you.
I love you too. Can we hang out and play?
Yeah, please.
Because you're we're my office now. We'll talk.
I know.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
we're close.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, Sam, you're awesome. You got to check her out. She's on Dr. Drew HLN. She Pop Trigger, and it's all at Sam. Spell your last name. So
you can go to Samantha Shocker, SCHACHER.com, or Twitter at Sam Shocker.
Right, all that stuff, and it'll all be on my website. Sex with Emily. Thank you so much for being here. And Wicked Candles. Check out her awesome candles.
Thank you.
And thanks to everyone for and follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, which is Sex with Emily.
And not on the street, though. Don't follow her on the street.
Don't follow me on the street, and don't send me a dick pic. Thanks, everyone, for listening to Sex with Emily. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com. Thanks, everyone, for listening to the show. And, I always want you guys to have amazing sex, and you might even want to be lasting a little bit longer in bed, because maybe you're not lasting as long as you'd like to, and your partner would just, maybe let's just talk about it. Let's be honest. There's an orgasm gap. Women take between 18 and 20 minutes to orgasm, and guys are like 6 to 8 minutes. Well, do you want to double the time that you last in bed? You have to try Promescent. It's a delay spray, and it helps you last longer. Also, if you have premature ejaculation, this is certainly what you want to use. It is the only FDA-approved treatment for premature ejaculation. So check it out at Promescent. That's Promescent. Promescent.com. Thanks for listening. Okay, so Anderson, I'm getting a new car, and in the past, I have to tell you that when I got my last car, I was actually dating this guy. I didn't like him very much, but I kept sleeping with him just so he would help me buy the car.
In the car?
No, I needed a new car, and I'm not great at car shopping. I'm a chick. They want to take advantage of me. I don't have the time.
Oh, they see you guys coming.
I know. Yeah. So I said to him, I was like, hey, would you take me car shopping? And he was like really into it because he wanted to date me.
He wanted to prove that he's a man.
Exactly. So
did he get you a good deal, though?
He got me a really bad deal.
You thought it was a good deal at the time.
I thought it was a good deal.
Everyone thinks it's a good deal at one point or another when the guy's going back and he's like, let me talk to my manager and see if that's doable. And then they come back, they're like, it's doable. But you have no idea. You have no clue.
And then you're going crazy and you're talking to a million places. So TrueCar.com is changing car buying forever. And I'm using it to get my new car right now. TrueCar users receive negotiation-free guaranteed savings. Some features are not available in all states. In the first 3 months of this year, over 126,000 cars were sold by the TrueCar Certified Dealer Network. Anderson, it's so friggin' easy.
It just takes the guesswork.
You just plug in the car you want, and then you get the price, and then the whole thing.
There's no more haggling.
Nothing.
I'm a terrible haggler. I'm not an agent.
I know.
I'm not an agent.
TrueCar users save an average of $3,078 off MSRP. When you're ready to buy a car, just follow these 3 easy steps. First, you go to TrueCar.com, find out what other people paid for the car you're looking for, which is so cool. Then register at TrueCar.com to see upfront pricing information and lock in your savings. Third step, so simple. You print out your TrueCar savings certificate, take it to a TrueCar certified dealer for a better, hassle-free car buying experience. Remember, every day, TrueCar users receive negotiation-free, guaranteed savings, save time, save money, and never overpay. Visit TrueCar.com today. That's TrueCar.com.